I'm here with Nick Sanders from Kentucky, and Nick has been one of our toughest customers in the super heavyweight division. He was at the World Championships and the Arnold Classic this year. I'm sure he's been training hard in the Super Series. Nick, tell us what you've been up to.
Exactly what you just said, training my ass off for the Super Series.
Well, that's very exciting. I think you have some very good events. I know the Saxon Bar is a very good event for you.
Oh, yeah.
How has your progress been on the Raptor and the Hub?
The Raptor is good. The Hub, I'm pretty terrible at Hub comparatively to everything else. Claw style, I'm no good. And Hub, I can only get 2 fingers on it. It's
yeah,
not a plus on having fat fingers.
I agree on the fat fingers part. I do too, and I don't like the freestyle. The way the wrist bends for me, it's not comfortable. No part of it's comfortable. So if it was claw style, I'd be very good because my number would be high relative to everyone else. But alas, I'll just take my pounding and move on.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And obviously you've been doing super well. Can you talk about some of the challenges about training? You've had some like tornadoes and hurricanes. Like, can you talk about how the interruption to your training, how it affects you just living on planet Earth?
Yeah, this year has been wild in my area as far as nature. We've had tornadoes, we've had power outages for a week or longer. We had a power outage here 2 months ago now, and they are still cleaning up. We had something like 77 broken electric poles, all of those miles of lines down, and they're still down. They've replaced them, but they're still cleaning up. Running generators at home just to keep my food from going bad.
My gosh.
Yeah, and work, they still want you to show up at work, and then you get home and you're just exhausted, and training, it just didn't happen for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, that's the reality with this climate change. The weather's been crazy. Like where I live in California, parts of California are burning up. I think we've only had 2 or 3 days above 80 degrees here. It's been relatively cold where I live, but like Phoenix has been like Arizona, like 40-degree days in a row over a 105 or something crazy. So every place is different regarding the climate change, but it doesn't stop you from putting up good performances. So good for you. Talk about your training a little bit in terms of your training partners, and do you have any consistent training partners, and how does that help you?
I have a couple of consistent training partners. Tony King is one. You saw him at the Arnold. You saw him at the Olympia. He's making progress. I have recently acquired a man named Matt Mellencamp. He's 22 years old. He's pulled, I think, 235 on the Saxon Bar. He's pulled 80 or 85 on the Hub. I'm trying to look over at the board. He pulled 82 and a half on the Hub. I've got a PR board over here for everybody.
He's a serious business right there.
22 years old and pulling that well. Inch Dumbbell, no problem for him. He did compete in the first part of the Super Series. I've also acquired another man named Carlos Coffey. He can pick up the Inch Dumbbell, no problem. Close captain's a crush number 3. And neither of these men have ever trained grip a day in their life. So it's pushing me to be a better athlete because they're right on my tail.
Well, anyone that's picking up the Inch Dumbbell or closing the number 3 right off, that's a special athlete. And it sounds like you got a whole herd of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that will certainly push you to up your numbers in training for sure.
Yes.
And Tony's no slouch, whether it's the Masters or the Open. He's showed much improvement in his grip game as well. So you got it going on down there, Nick.
Yeah, we're trying to build it up around here. We're trying.
How many people are you expecting at your venue in a couple weeks?
I think 9 right now.
Same for me. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. It's
Yeah.
growing, rapidly growing.
Absolutely. And that's my goal with this interview, with the Super Series, with Orlando, the Arnold. Trying to make it really grow, because I think people are finding out that if they give it an honest shake, that they're really good at this stuff. And if they're not so good, they like it, and they come home from training and they're not all damaged
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much as some other sports can
I,
be.
I medal in amateur strongman, and a good training day will just wreck your body, and a good training day in grip, and I'm feeling fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, when I met Ode, we were doing quite a bit of strongman training, and we were also, we'd have all kinds of other, various guests there, including a young Martins,
Oh
including
yeah.
Josh Bryant, including the European of the Week who came to visit Ode. So we had quite a punishing workouts.
Sure.
Yeah, about the only thing I could keep up with them on was the farmer's walk, because everything else, the guys were so good. But um, farmer's walk, I held my own. That entire flip. Um, some unbelievable things have happened in his garage as far as training goes. That unbelievable. Um, but let's talk about you, Nick. What are your goals specifically with the World Championships? I think you like those events; those are very good for you. What are you thinking?
Man, it's anybody's game. I will have to be on my A game, no misses, because any of those guys, uh, Jason, um, I don't know who all's going, but
Yeah, no one does really, but yeah, you and Jason would be some of the front runners who will definitely be there.
if any of us miss just one lift, we might drop to last. It could be anybody's ball game. If I place top five at the World Championships, I'll be happy.
Yeah, well, it's certainly possible, that's for sure. And the more work you put in, the more work you're going to get out of it.
Sure.
What advice would you give, Nick, to someone, let's say, who's competing in strongman or in powerlifting, and they've heard about arm lifting, they've heard about it, they've even tried it maybe, but they haven't competed yet? What advice would you give them?
Just do it, right? What's there to hurt in just doing it? Give it a shot. May surprise yourself, and then get to travel the world doing this stuff. We're going to Orlando. We've been to Las Vegas. Got invited to Sweden. Like, it's fun, and you get to travel the world doing this.
I couldn't agree more. I agree that it's fun, and I agree that you get to travel. So I fully agree with you. Um, what do you see as the future of the arm lifting as it expands? What things would you like to see in it?
More international travel. Um, it's fun traveling to Vegas, Orlando, Columbus. What about Canada? What about Sweden? I don't know that I can afford Sweden, but um, it's cool. I'd like to go.
Yeah, I've been to
I'd like
Russia
more
twice.
opportunities, more than once or
Yeah.
twice a year, maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm working on setting those things up as we speak. I went to Canada just a few weeks ago, and Calgary, Canada. I'd never been to Canada. It was beautiful. It was
Good.
beautiful. And I competed there along with four other Americans. And then I am going to go to Sweden, even though now the competitor list has, I think I was the third person to sign up, and now there's, I think, 50 people. So,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know how Marcus is going to arrange it, but they'll have to have multiple events going on at once, because otherwise there's no way they'll get through, because it's 7 events.
Wow. Yeah, I knew it was a bunch of events, and the last one is a medley, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the last one is actually like a farmer's walk hold with 150 kilos in each hand, so 330 in each hand. So I don't exactly know what that's going to look like, but I know that a lot of people won't even pick it up, especially
Yeah.
after 7 events. So 6 events, that being the 7th event. So we'll have to see what it all plays down to. There's inch medley, there's a blob medley. There's going to be a whole lot of ties, a whole lot of, but obviously, as we saw, the Swedes are strong.
They are.
Kim Johansson was unbelievable, and Callie and Anders were not that so far behind him. So they do their homework over there. That's for sure.
They sure do.
Yeah. So, yes, but I think on behalf of Armlifting USA, we're going to try to arrange more international trips, and as the sport grows, and if we can get some sponsorship, that'll make the international travel much easier.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always at work with different sponsors trying to make it better and keep the costs down and make it better for the athletes. So, but yeah, I think we have the connections in place that we can arrange international opportunities every year for people to travel. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been in talks with a man in Poland. I have another connection in Canada. I think some more things will take place rather than less. And then it's a matter of time before we have Armlifting Chile is going to come. They're coming to Orlando and sending a delegation of Chile athletes. So I think it's only a matter of time before they invite us down there. That's quite a trip, but still, I think the opportunities to travel are going to grow. I know from talking to Luke Reynolds at the Arnold, he's going to try to arrange something as well in Australia. So, nice. Yeah, and I'm sure if he was involved, it would be a first-class presentation. So, yeah, I think there's more and more opportunities are going to come about. So,
that's good.
Yeah. All right, Nick. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for hosting a venue in stage 2 of the Super Series. Thanks for being the awesome athlete that you are. And I look forward to seeing you in Orlando, and maybe we'll touch base again on another interview after the people are announced for the Olympia, and we'll see who's competing. But good luck in your training, and tell Tony I said best of luck to him as well in the Super Series.
I will.
All right, Nick. Thank you so much.
See you.